one of the questions has been just what motivates you now. I mean, there's 4 games left, so there's plenty of the season left. What motivates you for this?
Absolutely. Oh, I think that, it's not just, I mean, like, yeah, we got hit in the mouth. You pick yourself off the mat, and you go back to work, and you try to make the most of these last 4 opportunities. You play for the dudes in the locker room. You play for the school that you represent. I mean, all of that stuff. And then obviously, like, faith carries you through the whole thing. But yeah, there's still a ton to play for.
There was some talk of players-only meetings before Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
How did that all come about, and what was your role in all of that?
It was just Aranda did a good job. I mean, like, opening the floor. Like at the end of the day, there's like ownership within the team. Like the players are the ones out there, and so there needs to be communication there. And after the TCU game, we decided like we needed to say some things. Aranda did a great job of like opening the floor up. People spoke, and that's kind of like the first step in like kind of like taking ownership in the whole thing and just addressing things that need to be addressed. Right? If you're winning, and life's good, like I don't know how much of that you see. And so, but like I said, when you kind of get hit in the mouth, you start to see people that like are stepping up, and might say things that most of the time won't say just because there's some things we need to get fixed.
Does this team do a good job of keeping some of the outside noise on the outside?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously it's impossible like not to hear anything. So a little bit of it creeps in. But it's a really tight locker room. Everybody loves each other, play for each other, and like it's kind of a point to just kind of keep all that outside stuff on the outside. Because at the end of the day, like we can't control any of that. We can control what we do in practice and how we play on the field. And so that's what we need to focus on, not the outside noise.
Do you feel like, or are you worried about when this offense isn't quite in a rhythm to get things started, that maybe y'all are pressing, especially in that last game, or how do you go about maybe fixing that?
There's a lot that goes into it. One, like at the beginning, obviously have to start faster, right? You got to put points on the board because we haven't been doing that. But there's a little bit that goes into it where it's like, okay, when we come out, like how our team's going to play us, like they game plan too, and so like they have their adjustments as well. And it's like once we get in that rhythm and flow, like pretty dang good, and like we've been good. It's just we got to shorten the amount of time it takes to get there. But I mean, there's no worry or no press with that. We just have to figure out ways to score faster in the game and start faster. So
You're out there as one of the captains. When you win the flip, do you ever think maybe we should?
I
just
need
go ahead
to
and
start
take the
doing
ball?
that. Yeah, I know. I need to start doing
I'm just
that.
thinking in terms of throwing that first punch.
Yeah. No, it's a great point. I actually texted Spav that after the game. I was like, we might need to start just taking the ball. So, yeah, I mean that's a great point. But then again, like you think like the middle 8, right? So we get the ball right before halftime, score, get the ball coming out of halftime, score again, right? I mean, like if you can win those middle 8, like a lot of good because you still have possession essentially, and so that was good for us. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Well, coming out and hitting them in the mouth.
How important is this week just for vibes and kind of momentum, and like what opportunity does the UCF game present to you?
Yeah, it's huge. It's another game. Another game to get right. Gain confidence after the last 2 weeks, and it's a home game, and so that's exciting for sure. We're excited to play back at home, but yeah, it's another opportunity to go out and play on a Saturday and do what we all love to do. And so we got four of them guaranteed left, and so go out and make the most of it.
Obviously, ended last year on a 6-game winning streak. What specifically flipped in that season, and how can you translate that into this season now? Is it even the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can happen at any moment, right? Last season, the biggest thing was like we played like all 3 phases of the ball were like in sync together, complementing each other, and like we still haven't done that this season. And so, it's harder. It's a lot easier said than done. Obviously, like if every team was doing that, then every team would win games. And so, but we have not been great at that this year. But once that clicks, that's when you're going to start to see those wins start happening instead of like this almost like fighting each other. Like when the offense is playing well, defense is struggling. When the defense is playing well, offense is like sputtering. And so you just got to sync up. And the same thing with special teams. Special teams were huge for us last year. last season when we were on that win streak, and so those have to be good for us as well. And so all three facets of the game.
Not to give anything away, but have you seen a shift in how teams are coming out and defending y'all, whether it be like too high or anything like that over the past couple of weeks?
It depends on who you play. Some teams they will with Trig, they'll have like a certain, like they'll make adjustments to where like we'll see something on film and then they might play it a little differently. It was Cincinnati, like they play 3 high. They played 3 high against us, and they do it really, really well. And so it's not like teams will completely change up their scheme or anything, but it's like little minor adjustments, just like we make when we're game planning for them. But I mean, even with that, like we still have the capability and ability to go out there and make explosive plays happen and score earlier in the game.
So you're only guaranteed 4 more games. Hopefully it's more. But how motivating is that to know there's just 4 games left?
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm super excited. I was kind of having that stop and smell the roses second the other day. I called my dad, and it's just so easy to like look towards the future and look beyond. But man, I said this earlier, like right now I remember being a little kid dreaming of being in this position, and like I'm in it. And so like going out and making the most of it, playing and having fun, representing Baylor University as the quarterback, and just going out and playing free. It's awesome. Like you said, 4 games left to do it. I'm gonna make the most of it.
I saw a video that you did. I guess it was at the Breakfast for Champions where you were kind of promoting the heroes, the vets.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that? Just kind of how that came
Yeah, it's
about?
cool. I've always wanted to do something like that, and so that opportunity presented itself. So 25% of all like my NIL merchandise sales is going to go to that with Mission Waco. And so, like I said, just always wanted to do something like that. And so then they invited me out there, and I got to like tour the I guess it's under construction right now. Yeah, the area. But it's really incredible what they're doing, and he explained the whole thing to me. John did, and just so cool. And so to be able to like help out something like that, and just to have the platform to do that is awesome, man. And so like I'm really excited about that.
I guess how important is this week maybe to get some better vibes going?
Mm-hmm.
And what are you expecting going into this UCF game?
Yeah, I think momentum for sure. We're just trying to get the ball rolling. With the past 2 weeks being hard 2 weeks, practice has been really good. We've been upping up the music and getting up the energy, and people are kind of looking for that win and been being more physical to the point. And it's been a little bit more chippy at practice, and so I think people are wanting it. And so we're just striving for it in every single rep that we get during practice, and hopes are still high in the building. We know we can go out there and win, and it's just the simple mistakes that we've been making. But as far as getting a win this week, it's huge going into these last 4 games.
How do you, I don't know if this is the right term, but how do you throw the first punch to get off to a better start, to kind of take it to them right from the start?
Well, I think like with Cincinnati, we weren't firing on all cylinders with everybody. So it was like someone was making a mistake.
Right.
1 out of the 11 was making a mistake. And that's why we went down 20+ points in the beginning, first half. So I just think being on the same page from the beginning. We're a great offense. We know that we're capable of going out there and throwing the first punches and landing them. But we just have to be firing on all cylinders and be on the same page.
I mean, you say you have all these good practices. Where's the disconnect between practice and game?
I think that's a good question. I think when it comes game time, physicality, everything's there. I really just do think it comes down to being like a mental game. I think we have the talent, we have everything that it takes to win. I just think at the end of the day, we just have guys, with missed assignments at the end of the day. And I think the disconnect is probably people just being out of certain gaps that they should be in, or not doing the correct thing that we practiced all week. Because we'll be practicing it during the week and have great practices. Offense will be rolling, defense will be rolling, and so I just think overall, just having success. Finding the same success in practice in the game probably been a little bit challenging for us.
Along those lines, another 11 a.m. game. You got practice in the morning. Seems like that should lead into kind of a normal routine.
Yeah, it should be good. We practice this whole season's been in the morning, so it's kind of fun. it's hard actually going into a game at night. You're in the hotel all day. You take a little nap or something, and so when it's in the morning, you kind of wake up, you eat breakfast, and you're ready to go. And so, I'm excited to wake up, get ready to go, and just like every other day, it should be just a practice. Getting ready to go attack.
Those first few drives don't necessarily go the way that this offense, the tempo of it goes. Do you feel like y'all have gotten in y'all's head over the past couple of weeks if something isn't going quite on schedule, or is that just a matter of next play up? I'm trying to figure out how you get back on track that way.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I think we know we're able to do it. Like we're capable of going out and doing these things. Right before half, we went out and it was like a 3 or 4 minute drive. Went out and scored right before half, and so we're capable of doing it. As far as the tempo goes, I think we play better the faster we play, and I think that when we can get the ball rolling and we get in grooves, we're unstoppable. I truly believe we're one of the best in the country offensively, and so I do think there's time where it feels like we shoot ourselves in the foot, but I think we just end up going back to the ability, knowing that we can do it. So.
Is there any worry of like pressing too hard? You say things are intense in practice, all that. Is there any worry that you kind of go too far?
No, not really. I think at the end of the day, a lot of it's just good. It's good for us. There's a lot of people in the building that want to win. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of will to win. And so I think at the end of the day, a lot has to come out. And it's good that it's coming out during practice, during reps, and you're starting to see, people want to win. And so I think that there's really no certain extent to it. I think it's all good. Yeah.
There's still a lot of games to play, but like some of the things are off the table. I would think maybe the Big 12 championship game, things like that. What motivates you now for these last 4 games?
Yeah, I just think the guys we have around us. I think like Jacob Reddick said after the game. It becomes a character thing. Like how well do you respect the guys around you? How far are you willing to go in? To see how good of a bowl game you can get. And it's unfortunate. Our chances are done for the Big 12 championship. But I love these guys. There'll never be another team like it. And so going out there and giving it the best shot we got to go out and go 4-0. That's pretty much what I want. It's what a lot of people want.
Obviously, tight end is a different position group, and y'all have y'all's own position coaches. But how do you think that blocking assignments and the offensive line group will go now with not different voices in the room, but new voices leading that group?
Yeah, we have great voices in the room. Coach Woods, he's a big time offensive guy, and so we all trust him. We trust the ability, with Coach Spav and Anderson's help. Anderson was a O-line coach at TCU for a long time. So there's a lot of brilliant minds, and, I think we're not really hesitating. We know that we can get it done with the people we have in the office. And so, so we're just going to continue to roll.
The way the running game has struggled at times, how good was that to see Michael kind of step it up this last game?
Yeah, he's been the spark for our offense for sure. With B-Wash being hurt, he's pretty banged up. And so to see him go out there and to succeed, it's been pretty cool. He's a funny kid. And so we love Mike, and it's exciting to see him go out and play well. Yeah.
This is homecoming. I know you guys have one job for homecoming to win the game.
Yeah.
But does it matter at all the other stuff that's going on?
I think at the end of the day, it's just another game. We need this win. We're gonna go out and we're gonna win. And so we're excited to give the fans, a show and play our best game. And we're going in with a lot of confidence. And so, we just got nothing to lose. So going all out.
That being said, do you like the Sailor Bell uniform?
I do actually. Yeah, no, it's cool. I actually had my first touchdown last year with the Sailor Bell helmet, so kind of means a lot. It's cool. Yeah.
So seeing from UCF defensively on tape.
Yeah, their ends are good. They're big, and so we're expecting to have big bodies on the end, and trying to get a lot of push on them. So we're excited. It's going to be a challenge. We're just game planning and taking this week like every other week. So.
How important is this game and this week to kind of maybe shift some of the vibes after the last 2 games?
I feel it's super important, especially with it being the last game for a bye week, just to get back on our feet and then regroup. in the bye week and come together.
Even through the losses, do you feel like maybe you've started to take some steps forward? I've seen you break up passes and really have good coverage. Have you seen that in yourself the last few weeks?
Yeah, I feel like it's just been like a confidence factor, me being able to make plays, just leaving stuff out there on the field that I know I can keep doing as the season goes along, just help build my confidence as the year goes on. Hopefully get a pick maybe in the near future. So.
What do you see from UCF? Coach talked about how explosive their offense is.
They got talented receivers over there, pretty decent running backs. So if we can just limit their big explosive plays, I feel like we'll do a pretty decent job.
Getting out the field on third down, obviously that first drive, there's a pass interference penalty, and then it kind of snowballed into a score. How do y'all go about maybe even correcting that and not letting stuff snowball?
Yeah, that's just mental errors, those are just easy things we can fix on our part, just the mental part. And with the snowball part, guys just staying together, not going against each other, because we're a team and we're going to fight to the end of the game. So
I think Coach Aranda said yesterday this is the fourth time you're changing the practice time in order to try to get off to a better start. How do you get off to a better start? What's that focus been like?
Yeah, he explains just starting fast. So, I guess that kind of ties into complementary football. So, defense gets a stop. Let's say defense comes out first, we get a stop, give the ball back to offense, and they come out and score. So, things like that. It's just the simple things. Or if the offense comes out, let's say they come out fast, score, and then turn around, defense goes back out, gets a stop, to where then we're up 7-0, get the ball back to offense, see what they can do. But it's just things like that is what he means by starting fast. So.
How do you feel? Obviously, this isn't your position really, but how do you feel that Baylor can do a better job of getting to the passer? It's been kind of a tough job of getting the quarterback down this year.
I just feel like we could just do a better job of just tackling on our end. Because there's been times where we've been around the quarterback, but we just miss. Our tackling just hasn't been good around quarterback. So if we could just wrap up and just grab cloth, I feel like it'd be good.
There are some things off the table now, but with 4 games left, is there a lot to be motivated for in those 4 games?
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, this bowl game, we're still looking to make a bowl game, and last year, we were 2-4, and right now we're 4-4. So we could really still change the season around, go 8-4. So there's a lot we could look forward to.